Want to start us off?
Yeah, welcome to Booze and the Bees. We're the hosts.
Hi, welcome. I started the recording this time, y'all, so I was like, oh, he could do the intro.
Yeah, that's a first, so
It's the first for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hope y'all are doing wonderful. I'm doing pretty wonderful. I'm ready to get jazzy with y'all this episode.
Yeah.
We didn't get jazzy last episode, so I am ready.
It's cabbage time. It's time for cabbage.
Oh, yeah, it's like we want to do like segments. Jazz session.
Jazz sesh.
Jazz.
Jazz.
I'm almost at 500,000 views on my one video of me in a shower cap saying it's jazzy time.
It's going to blow up. Everybody start using getting jazzy and tagging her so that everyone knows to follow Ella Boo and to get jazzy with the Jazz Cabbage Queen. We're coining that term. It's going to be a thing.
Yeah, I love it. I love seeing, like, I saw a few videos, people like resharing my stuff, and it's just like, it made me feel so cool and like my heart warm, very warm.
We should find jazz bands who want to be on the podcast to do some little jazzy jazz with us.
We should.
Do you think there's some Tucson jazz community?
Jazz. Yeah.
I would be sure.
100%.
Like, how could there not be?
All right. So we'll find them.
So jazzy.
And they'll just come play for us during when I get high as fuck.
Yeah, we'll just play their song and rep them. We'll like put their title up here.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Like I could just push play and it's like it plays their song while I'm getting jazzy, like jazz time.
Just time. Just time. Just time. Just time.
All right, speaking of, cheers.
Boo ba doo boo boo. Boo ba doo boo boo. Jazz. Jazz jazz.
Ow! Cheers.
Yeah, you think people like that? If that's why they stick around, I'll be stoked. So, what do we talk about?
It's funny because you said the people, it's like the first like few minutes is the hook.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we hooked them?
No, no chance. No chance. It's going to be our smallest video to date.
Nah. It's only getting better and better.
It is getting better, though.
Yeah. I do have an article that I can read. It is jazz cabbage related. So, you remember that advertisement SnoopDogg did?
Yeah.
When he said that he was going to quit the smoke?
Yeah.
For the thing. Well, apparently the company now said that the advertising campaign hasn't resulted in a substantial revenue increase, leading to the CEO of the company leaving his position.
No way.
The interim CFO said, while our unique marketing campaigns raised brand awareness of Solo Stove to an expanded and new audience of consumers, it did not lead to the sales lift that we had planned, which combined with the increased marketing investments negatively impacted our EBITDA. I don't know what that means.
EBITDA.
EBITDA.
That's what a lot of businesses talk about. It's just it's like how much money you made and how much money you spent.
Yeah. So shout out to Dank City on Instagram for the article.
That's just so funny to me, right? So it's like they must have spent millions to get SnoopDogg in there. And that just goes to show like brand awareness does not mean audience loyalty. It's like SnoopDogg's audience. Do you think they have big enough houses to go and buy a smokeless fireplace?
Right.
Probably not.
I mean, some of them, I'm sure he's got a huge audience.
Oh, I'm sure he does. You know, he's got just a massive one, but obviously not enough to cover the millions. You kind of just have to think like, what does your audience buy? Like, what is their consumer good?
It wasn't a cannabis related product.
No.
So
it was a smokeless fireplace.
I got it, and it was genius. Like to be like, I'm going smokeless.
Great.
But I see what you're saying though, because like his audience would more likely buy a cannabis product than
for sure
smokeless. What was it?
It was a smokeless fire pit.
Fire pit, right?
And it's not smokeless; it's just less smoky, right?
Yeah, I saw that because there was like a video of it. Someone was like, "That's not smokeless."
Yeah, I mean, look, you can't just defy God, right? Like, fire smokes, right? Like, you can make it less smoky by directing it in certain ways. No, it's just you have to be like on brand with your market and your audience. And I mean, like, that's why this channel is a channel based on positivity, relationships, and cannabis and how to do
positivity, partnerships, and pot.
Yeah, positivity, partnerships, pot, the triple P's.
PPP.
Yeah, we like that PPP. Like that. P.
Oh my.
PP.
Okay.
Okay, so no, but the audience here is like, we want everyone to just do as best they can, be their best self, have a good partner, have a good life, and know that sometimes doing things like cannabis can help you through your transitions and like build yourself up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because I don't smoke now, but I'm a proponent of it and I like it.
Right. And my whole entire audience doesn't smoke either. So it's like, I was trying to think of an example for us, like, you know, like SnoopDogg selling that is like us trying to sell, I can't think of the equivalent. I was going to say
TVs?
Alcohol, but like, I'm sure a lot of our audience drinks too.
Sure. But I mean, probably not like the ones we're probably finding people who are like, probably don't want to forever, right?
That reminded me, I just saw a post, White Claw came out with non-alcoholic drinks.
Yeah?
A whole bunch of different flavors. Like promoting electrolytes and stuff, and it's like sober's the new thing.
The world is getting healthier, and I mean by the world, I mean America, which therefore is the world. But
our world,
America is getting a lot healthier. They've realized that like being obese and sad, even if you like love yourself, just hasn't been working for people. And it's like, you know what yields good results? Being healthy, eating enough protein, eating less sugar. All these things cost more money because obviously sugar-free sugar is a lot harder to make. Or calorie-free sugar, rather, is a lot harder to make than just normal sugar, so it costs more. But the consumers are willing to buy it because they're like, the cost of a gym and the cost of being sad or the cost of medical bills is not worth it. And like, we're becoming more wise as Americans, you know. I am too, right? But that would be more of the stuff we sell. It's like, what would we not sell is like probably TVs. We do nothing with TVs, right? So like, why would our audience want to go buy a big TV?
That's a good example.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, if they were buying the White Claws, I could see them supporting us because like, we're all about eating healthier kind of alternatives, and healthier than drinking, it's cannabis, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think that would sell really well with us and our audience. But like a smoke-free fire pits, like, why?
Yeah.
Again, they're like, man, a lot of people found out about us, but no one bought our thing. It's like, oh. Yeah, for the cost of him, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy. Because I remember seeing it and I was like, brilliant.
I thought it was brilliant.
But
I
like,
thought they would have sold
now
much.
Thinking about it, I guess I understand. But even then, I guess I'm still a little surprised.
I'm still really surprised, to be honest.
Because like, so many people are talking about it.
You can't force people to buy something that's not worth it, though. Like, how much is that thing? Do you want to look up how much one of those is?
Sure, I'll look it up while we're talking.
Because, like, what if that thing is, like, $200 and people are like, whoa, I'll buy a regular fire pit for $30.
I'm sure it's expensive.
Yeah, so, I mean, it could be, like, not a marketing problem. It could be an offer problem. Maybe they just overestimate. $250, and that's like little, right? That's not even the big one. It doesn't look large.
Yeah, I don't really know how like
that's
fire
like
pits
that's
work.
like a small pit, and you get like a $10 off offer. Like $10 is insulting.
600, 500.
Yeah, so the 250 one looked like a hand warmer. Like, that's so small. So I do not at all blame the marketing guy. I think he should have stayed. I think he did an amazing job pitching it. But
it said the CEO like stepped down.
It was like CMO, COO.
It says CEO stepped down, but then the CFO said, with our unique marketing campaigns, he just like made the comment. But the leading to the CEO of the company leaving his position. CEO. Well,
they're the ones who gave the go ahead. So right, they're like the top guy, right? Someone had to take the blame for it. But the flame, get it? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, just who is the target audience of a $600 fire pit? Mm-hmm. I don't care what the fire pit is. It's $600. Mm-hmm. Who buys that?
Exactly.
Nobody buys that. So it doesn't matter if everybody knew about your product. It was a bad marketing scheme. Sell it for less. It doesn't cost nearly that much to make one of those things. And the idea of smokeless just means there's vents at the bottom. Everybody who's ever built a fire ever knows how to do that, right? Like when you build a fire pit, you don't put bricks all the way around. You like remove every other brick at the bottom so air flows through it. Like, it's not unknown. It's not unheard of. Humans have had fire since humans were humans. You know, so it's not like a novel idea. It's not like a patentable idea. It's just a metal pit. You burn stuff in it.
Yeah.
So to sell that for 600 is insulting, and obviously no one bought it. It doesn't cost that much to make. So
no one did.
Yeah, that's bad. That's a bad thing. I think if they had sold it for $300, they would have made several $1 million. Like the
no biggest
effort.
one for 300.
Oh yeah, biggest one for 300 would have been a seller. For double that, no. And you know they're making them for about 120.
I mean, I don't know, but
I'm guessing 120.
You told me. Yeah.
I'm guessing 120 because it's made of stainless steel. They look real pretty, but that's like with overhead, right? So it's like,
yeah.
I bet they're doubling their money on each one of those at $300 price point.
But it's crazy because they obviously got to the point where they were making money to hire Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, or they took out a big loan because they had enough traction selling their smaller models for cheaper. And then they said, okay, the only way to afford Snoop Dogg is to jack the prices up to an astronomical amount, which was a really bad call. So they said, the only way to make our money back on Snoop Dogg this year, like they could have just let it ride and just made a good product and people would have talked about it. And then you would have made money from referrals. Because like that's what happens when you make a good product. People just talk about it anyway for free.
Right.
You know, but you need to get it in their hands so they can talk about it so that people go buy it. You know, but they spent all this money on Snoop and they said, well, this year I still need to make my shareholders happy. So I'm going to sell it for $600 a pop. Why wouldn't they buy it? No one in America can buy that right now. Middle class is 130,000, which means the middle class is exclusive to the top 10% of all earners. Who's going to buy a $600 anything?
Yeah.
Insert anything for $600. The answer is no, right? If it's not going to make you money. People just don't do that anymore. They don't understand. So I don't know who's in charge of that company, but they certainly don't understand the American people right now are struggling.
Yeah, I agree. So I thought that was interesting.
They would have made a lot of millions if they put that down a couple $100. And they would have just had to wait 2 years to get their money back on the Snoop Dogg thing, but they would have been the top fire pit that would have been in everywhere. It would have been in Home Depots and everywhere.
I'm surprised they didn't just go on Shark Tank.
I mean, I don't know how Shark Tank works. Who knows?
I have no idea. But yeah, so there's that topic. Still getting jazzy.
Getting jazzy, talking about jazz topics, and I guess business that time.
Yeah, jazz and business.
Ooh, you love jazz business.
We forgot to do the title first. We were going to do that.
We didn't do it.
We were like, oh, we have perfect amount of time to film the podcast. Let's go.
Yeah, we had to. We got stuff to do. I just got back. We can talk now about being positive and bad things happening and it being good.
Oh, yeah, because I'm like, you know, every time like bad instances keep popping up, we like keep turning it around like, oh, well, something positive is going to happen.
Yeah, so for instance, I smashed my knee at work today against some really heavy metal thing, and I was like, you know, it sucks, it hurts. And I was like, you know what, it's fine, everything's going to be good. I'm just going to walk this off and get back to work, and everything's going to be good. I got a call from someone I've been trying to get a hold of for 3 years in this business, and they want me to come out to their location and, you know, do an inspection of some parts.
That's really great.
And I was like, wow, you know, see, if I had just been mad about it and like kept that energy, I wouldn't have gotten the call. Not to say I wouldn't have, but it's like, by being positive, good things happen. It allows you to be more patient if you're like, it's fine, because something good is going to happen right afterwards, you know?
Yeah, you're allowing the good things to happen. Plus, plus that thing fell off your truck?
Yeah, I had a part of my truck that literally just got fixed. You know, when my window got broken and they had to like repair it, that part got damaged as well, and they just replaced it. And it just fell off. And so now a piece of my truck is just missing. Like it fell off at where I was stopped, but it's like not on my truck anymore. I was really bummed out. I was like, oh man, but I'm going to stay positive because something good is going to happen. And earlier in the day, we had a talk with somebody about a possible sponsorship opportunity. So it was like a good series of events. Yep. And like, even if something bad happens with that or with something else, we just know something better is going to come because we're just not going to... We're not going to slow down, and we're going to keep being our best self. And if we delay a day by being upset about something, then what good is that going to do? So it's like, truck broke, move on. Something good's going to happen. Smash my knee into something, doesn't matter. Something good's going to happen because we keep being the best version of ourselves. We're not drinking, we're not partying, we're not wasting time. And we don't skip things like this. This became a priority that we're going to do this every day. So we're doing it. And we're like, everything good is going to happen because we're just going to get better.
That's all you can do. Or you can dwell on the negative, but then that's just like not fun. And it's not fun. I know it's not fun to just sit there and dwell on the negative, and then it literally takes over your whole day,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Try to start finding your positives in the day. And I keep telling people if there's no action step, means you can't control it. So try not to stress about it. And if there are action steps, then take them.
Yeah.
Sitting there and just dwelling on it literally does nothing.
And what I hear a lot too from people is they say, "Oh, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to change this. I won't do this again." Okay, well, what did you do to change it? What are you working on? Mm-hmm. You need to set what's my goal and what does my life look like if I hit that goal? And then you have to have an action step to do that. Right. So it's if you're a jealous girlfriend, you're like, "I'm not going to be jealous later." I'm like, you can't say that you're not going to be a jealous person tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You're not just going to change overnight. So what's the action step? It's okay, the next time I see a pretty girl in public, I'm not going to shut down because it doesn't matter because my partner's with me anyway, right? You can make an action step and that's going to help you, be accountable. And then you say, if I just don't shut down when this specific thing that normally triggers me happens, then in 5 years, it won't happen and my partner will be happier with me. And the likelihood of them leaving because I'm insecure is less because I'm not going to ruin their day every time I see a pretty person. Because you're going to push them away doing that for sure. Mm-hmm. So it's set action steps that are real, not just I'm going to work on it or I'm not going to do that again. You're probably going to do something again. You're probably going to slip. So how do you minimize slipping?
Communication.
Mm-hmm.
Also.
Communication and action steps.
Because whenever I would say I would start bringing it up every time, I started realizing the amount of times something would trigger my anxiety. And then I'm like, this can't be life.
Yeah.
I can't live every day just afraid that I'm going to lose him or whatever it was, a negative thought in my head. It's hard to explain. It's funny we got into I didn't think we were going to get into this conversation.
Well, I mean, we had to go somewhere. We've got 20 minutes left.
Yeah, but being able to tell you without you getting upset with me and stuff really helped, and patience and communication and reassurance. And then it's and then I realized, I don't know, didn't have to have those thoughts. It's weird how the brain works, turns scenarios differently if you think a certain way. Does that make sense? Yeah, you can make something that's nothing a huge deal, and you can make something that's a huge deal nothing, and it's really how you put something. Yeah.
Right? And that's why having action steps is so important, because action steps don't care about your feelings. And that helps you move past something. I must do this no matter what. Yeah. And just like you say, I mean, you start to notice, okay, if my action step is to communicate whenever I feel this way, and you're I feel this way all the time. Well, do I want to feel this way all the time? Because my partner does not control my feelings. Mm-hmm. So what's my action step going to be? Right? And then by acknowledging your action step and doing that with no emotion, then you fix the problem over time.
Yeah.
Because you're I just simply did the steps. I got the 6-pack because I worked out and I ate less. I did it, right? You just keep doing the steps. Mm-hmm. No emotion towards it. I'm because if I had to think, oh man, I'm in the mood to get a 6-pack today, and then tomorrow I'm not, it doesn't matter. I still have to do the same workouts. Yeah. If one day you're not anxious and you feel great, and the next day you are, it doesn't matter. I still have to communicate with my partner and move on. And I, just can't yell at him because I feel bad. You have to just be good because you made those the action steps. So that's the moral of the story. Do things that are emotionless and just keep moving through it. And then you'll get to where you want to be. Picture yourself in 10 years. And if that's not who you are right now, then what do you have to do to change it?
We're definitely not saying don't have emotions, though.
No, but make the action steps not emotion-based. Make them based on doing something. Because if you have to be in the mood for it or have to be, happy for something to happen, then it's not a good action step. It needs to just be something you do. And then you don't have to think about it. You're happy, sad, tired, energetic. You still have to do the same thing every day. So it helps.
Yeah.
Okay, one of your topics, throwing out there. It's your turn.
I saw a video today talking about how you need to have self-love before you could find love. I feel like we've talked about that briefly before, but I don't know why it and the creator who posted it, I didn't want to do a clip because I really like her as a person and stuff, and I know she means well. I know most people mean well when they say you need to love yourself before you can love anybody, but I don't know why. I just don't agree fully on that. I really need having you as a partner really helped me find self-love. And I also everyone's different, so maybe some people do need to find self-love before finding love, but I don't think it's if you don't love yourself fully and you think you're at the perfect moment to find a partner, I just don't think there's no perfect
Man, we
moment.
said 400 times in the last 2 minutes.
I did? We did or I did?
We did. I say it a lot too. That's something for us to work on, is noticing how much we say
Yeah. Also calling out people in the middle of their stories. We're working on that too.
Yeah.
Because then it throws me off, but
Yeah. Well, what you were saying was to find self-love is the only way to find a partner. And we've talked about this before, is that you shouldn't be looking for the perfect partner and having to be perfect already yourself.
Jeez.
You should be looking for a partner who's where you're at, and then you can grow together. So if you and your partner both don't have self-love, but are both willing to work towards it, then you're in a good position. Right? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, I was just saying how for me personally, I definitely couldn't have been I'm at the perfect moment to find a partner. Because I don't know what they mean by that. It's wait till you love yourself fully.
What if you don't love yourself till you're 40 and then you can't have children and you always wanted children, right? Now you're in a bad position.
And a self-love journey, I don't think has to be alone.
No.
Either.
I don't think anyone's life journey is meant to be alone.
Yeah.
And that's what I was getting at with if you're trying to find the perfect person that's oh, they have everything together and they have self-love and fitness and perfect habits, well, then you need to have all those things established first also. But it's not that you can't find a partner when you don't have everything in your life dialed in and they don't have everything in their life dialed in, and you work on that together. That's a beautiful thing. That's a real partnership. And you can start that younger, which means you're going to have an even stronger relationship 10 years out, Say you're 20 and you date for 10 years, then you're 30. It's going to be a lot better to do that than to be 30 and say, okay, I'm finally ready to start a relationship with somebody. Because if you took until you're 30, no matter what, to hit that point when you said, okay, I'm ready for the next step of my life, and I have self-love and I have my ducks in a row and everything's perfect and it's time for a family or whatever it is. Well, if you already had someone for 10 years, then you can just hit the next step right away.
Yeah.
Now I want a kid, you have it today, right?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have it today. It's not. You have it
No,
9
but
months.
I get what you're saying though, because now it's now you're just starting to look for love. Yeah.
And then it becomes, you have other challenges. There's biological challenges. You can't have kids after 40 very easily. It becomes a very difficult procedure for a lot of people. So.
And then I'm sure people probably feel rushed into things too because they're getting older.
And then you have different emotional things to go through. And then who cares about your self-love and you like Aruba? It's okay, cool, you like Aruba, but now you have all this other baggage of worrying about being too late or having to rush into things that you wouldn't have had you just said, I'm not perfect, I'm with a partner who's not perfect, we accept each other and we're both working towards the same goals, and do action steps to get there together. Then you win. Now, I've seen the other side too, though, where you get someone who doesn't have self-love and they get a partner who doesn't have self-love, and one of those actually does grow and the other doesn't. But
why do you think that happens? I wonder why people can't grow together.
some people just aren't compatible or just aren't ready yet. And I mean, this happens a lot too, because if you just look at men and women in relationships, women tend to be younger than men. Men tend to mature a little bit slower in the relationship side than women do.
It's funny, my mom was always older.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't want to take her as like the bastion of perfect relationship support, you know? So like for most relationships, it's the guy's a little bit older than the girl is, a couple years usually. And so if the girl was like, this is my high school sweetheart, which does work sometimes, but if it's like, it was my high school sweetheart, but both of them had a little troubled past and both of them were trying to work on self-improvement, but they were both 18, and then she got to be 20, he might need to be 26 to be at the same mental space as her to move on and to get to that point. And so it might just be one of those things where it's like, we did grow enough together for the 2 years we were together, but I need to go find a guy who's at where I'm at currently, and then they need to be able to keep up with my level of growth. So I think a lot of people get into it too young, and that becomes their issue.
Get into relationships too young?
Like if they were both 18 and they both had trauma, I think the girl's going to get over it before the guy is, because the guy is 18. And so by 20, I don't think they're going to be at the same point as easily as if it was like a 30-year-old guy and like a 26-year-old girl. They could get together easier and like move on together.
You're saying guys recover from trauma slower? Is that what you're saying?
Just saying guys mature slower than women.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that they can't get over it in the same amount of time. I'm just saying if it was a 24-year-old guy and an 18-year-old girl, they might grow at the same rate at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just argue date a little bit older guy. Not like way older, like don't go crazy, but I'm saying if you're dating someone exactly your age and you both have traumas and stuff, I've seen, like just from the interviews you see just on the dating podcast and dating interview space, there's always some girl who's like, we had these problems and then we moved in together and things were going great, and then I noticed they had this issue and then we were working on it together, but he just didn't get there. And it's like, girl, move on. It's that guy's your same age. Get someone who's 2 years ahead of him, 3 years ahead of him, that has their stuff a little bit more together, and you're going to be on the same playing field. And then you move forward together at the same pace. I just think you want to find someone a little bit older. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's going to be the same maturity, but with the same problems. Like they still haven't found the self-love, or they're still working on their career. So like you and I. Exactly. I'm just a couple years older than you, but we both started with, problems and baggage, and we were both able to move forward together at the same pace. Mm-hmm. But if I was your age when we started dating, right, I was at a different place in my life at that time. Mm-hmm. And it probably wouldn't have worked. I had to hit a certain point of maturity that would have made us on the same playing field. So that's all I'm getting at. I think people can move forward together, but just probably not at the same age.
Yeah, that makes sense. We gotta get going.
Okay, we're out of here.
Are we doing it?
Yeah, we got it. It's going to be a thing. Guffaw. See, that one worked. It took by surprise.
I didn't even say it.
Guffaw.
Guffaw. All right. Love you guys.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye.
Maybe we'll prep. Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
We won't.